Right. I guess one I can imagine the effect of pressure. How does pressure affect equilibrium? Pressure. I-pressure ihambisana ne-volume. Works hand in hand with volume. Kanjani? Asicabange umjovo, syringe. Syringe sethu, nayi syringe. Syringe. Bese kuba nalento abaphusha ngayo umjovo. Bathi piston. Call it piston. Buyi space. La kukhona into esithi volume. Volume la kukhona yonke lento enzeka lapho. Kungawumuthi wesisu, umuthi wekhanda kanani jova lapha or imbiza lento nokoloto. Nansi ayilana. Uma unyusa i-pressure, uma upusha phela, you are increasing the pressure. Uma upusha, ufika la, uyawupusha phela. Mali nkathi upusha, senze njani space na? Siyancipha, the volume becomes less. Ngamanye amazwi, as the pressure is increased, the volume is decreased. As pressure becomes more, then the space becomes less. Uma ubheka nje mophethe ibhaluni engakho uyi-14 bese uyayithatha leyo balloon bese uyayinciphisa uyayipitchiza. Uma uyipitchiza you are increasing pressure. Now ispace sayo sizoncipha. Space sayo ayipitchiza. You are increasing pressure. Obviously, if you are decreasing pressure, when the space is cool, the pressure becomes less. Right. Now, whenever you apply pressure, think of the volume. With the pressure and volume, pressure is inversely proportional to the volume. When you increase pressure, the volume decreases. When you decrease pressure, the volume increases. When you increase pressure, the space becomes less. The volume layer. When you decrease pressure, the space becomes more. Right. Now, I just started the reaction. N2 gas plus 3 H2 gas, which is in equilibrium, NH3 gas. We have this system in equilibrium. Now, if pressure will only affect gases. Ama gases will be affected by a change in pressure. Why is it so? Ngoba ama gases are compressible. Uyakwazi ukupitchiza igas. Uyayipitchiza. Kuthiwa la abaziyo ngiyakhumbula ma ideal gases ka grade 11 ukhulunywa ukuthi if volume ye gas is equals to the container, the volume of the gas. A gas is equals to the volume of a gas is equals to the container of the gas. ngamanye amazwi ubona kanjani it is equals to the container of the gas. Uma ngikuleli class mhlawumbe ingane thizeni idle ubhontshisi kwase kutholakala ukuthi manje kwakheka igas esiswini. Buka nje umncane kanjani. Bese uyayidedela leyo gas. Mhlawumbe futhi angayidedeli yonke ayidedele nje kancane. Lonke iclass emva kwesikhathi liyoyizwa leya gas ukuthi awu kanti esiswini bokunento engaka. Kusho ukuthi ngamanye amazwi ukhiphe igas engakanani elingana neclass ngoba igas occupies yonke leyo volume. Uma kwi-lecture hall ekwazi ukuthi bededela umoya ku-affecteke yonke i-lecture hall, kusho ukuthi i-gas space esiswini ingange ye-lecture hall. That is why abantu bescience bathi i-volume of the gas is the same as the volume of the container. Now sikhuluma ngama-gases. Le equilibrium only i-pressure yakhona, it only affects ama-gases. Solid pressure cannot affect. You cannot compress a solid. Not. Okay, pictures. Solids are incompressible. Because nje phezu kwesihlalo laphana si solid. As pictures expressed. Futhi noma ungaqhamuka umkhulu kangakanani uthi uhlala phezu kwaso. Angeke sinciphe sithi instead siyophuka paka. Ngoba asiciphiseki. Ngiyazi bese uyitshela ukuthi manje ngoqhamuka uyisidudla. Ngiyawazi asinciphi. Siyaphuka. Ngoba asikwazi wena nje bozothini ukuthi uhlale uyisidudla ubona isihlalo bese ngakasithole isinciphi size sibe ngako. Hayi nami bengabaleka ngithi hayibo naso isihlalo ngakwethu mina ngilindele ukuthi siphuke sona siyancipha. Liquids are partially compressible. But now we know pressure affects gases. Now, how does pressure affect gases? Now, Siponala, what will happen when pressure is increased? When pressure is increased, when you increase pressure, the volume decreases. The space becomes less. Ratio, be careful. I am not saying we contain kuna 1 mole of nitrogen, 3 moles of hydrogen. I'm not saying that. It's ratio. For every nitrogen corner, there are 3 hydrogens. Should nitrogen about 5,000, or hydrogen about 15,000. 3 times 5, 15. So now, ngokwe ratio, buka ngokwe ratio, sinama moles amangakanani ama reactants now, 4 moles. Napa ama products sinama moles angakanani now, 2 moles. So when you increase pressure, or my space now, when the volume is decreased, yana. Now, i-system uyabona ke soyabonke ikuphi okuzozwelayo ekunciphe kwe-space. Yiphi ezwela kakhulu ngokuncipha kwe-pressure na? Ama-reactants. Ngokwe-ratio maningi ukudlula ama-products. Why ngifake 4? Ngoba all these are gases. So they will be affected by pressure. So ngamanye amazwi uma nginyusa i-pressure or nginciphisa i-volume, i-system will shift to the direction where less number of moles are formed. Iyowakha izoya la i-ratio yakhona iba less ukuze ikwazi uku-occupy lesa space. Bafowethu siyampintsheka, kungcono siyakhe kancane, siyakhe okuzosenza ukuthi i-ratio ibe ncane ukuze sikwazi uku-occupy leso space. Unyusa i-pressure kusho ukuthi uyayipintsha. Manje uyangizwa ke? Uyayipintsha. Mawumpintsha i-system ithi hey yampintsha lo ngizozama ukuthi siyakhe kakhulu lapha ama-moles emancane khona ukuze singaphintsheki. Ngamanye amazwi, the system will shift to the direction where less number of moles are formed. As it shifts to that direction, which means the concentration of ammonia will increase whilst this will decrease. So the system will shift to the right. When pressure is increased, the system will shift to the direction where less number of moles are formed. Will shift to the direction where less number of moles are formed so as to occupy that little space. Little. 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 Hey, my wait. That little. Bottle. Bottle. It's a bottle. Library. Library. So now when you increase pressure, the volume will decrease. The system will shift to the direction where less number of moles are formed. What if when you decrease pressure? Mase uyibuze eklasini abantwana abaningi bayadideka. Kanti opposite yalento. When pressure is decreased, when the space becomes more, mawunyusa space, i-system nayo ifuna ukukhululeka phela. Ithi ayasakhe sibe baningi so as to occupy that space. We know that nature does not allow any vacuum. So when you increase pressure, when you decrease pressure, when you increase the volume, system will make sure that iyakha kakhulu so as to occupy that space. Ungabi ne vacuum. So now, when pressure is decreased or the volume is increased, the system will shift to the direction where more number of moles are formed. So ngamanye amazwi, it will shift to the left because ngokwe ratio, more number of moles are formed. So izokwakha kakhulu ngapha kunangapha. So it will shift to the left. This is how pressure affects equilibrium. Teacher, ngicela ukubuza. Hayi babethu. Yabazi abantu besebenbuza. Yabazi abantu besebenbuza. Let's say sine reaction less as H2 plus I2 is in equilibrium with 2HR. All these are gases. All these are gases. And you increase pressure. Pressure is increased. When you increase pressure, buka ngapha sinama moles amangaki na? Sinama moles ngokwe ratio is 2 moles. Nangapha sinangaki na? 2 moles. Kuma reactants and products. 2 moles. We have got 2 moles. Nangalena 2 moles. Measurement 2 moles pela 1 plus 1. 2 moles. So now when you increase pressure, the pressure ngeke affect lutho la. Ngoba ama number of moles are the same. So uma utholakala ukuthi kuyalingana ama number of moles ama gases ngakuma reactants and products, then the system will not be affected by pressure. Pressure will not shift any equilibrium. All right. What if a similar reaction engine? Let's say you have P reacting with Q. Q is a solid and it's 3 moles. P, it's a gas, and it's 4 moles. It's in equilibrium with R and T. R is a solid with 2 moles. T is a gas with 5 moles. 5 moles, and you increase pressure. You increase pressure. Kule reaction engine. Asingakhohle kupho kuzo affect high pressure. Ngapha 4 moles. Ngapha 5 moles. Asingakufaki lo solid. Incompressible. Sinento nje. You increase pressure. You decrease the space. This space. System will shift to a direction where less number of modes are formed. Less, lapas na 4, lapas na 5. It will shift to the left. Less number of modes are formed. It will shift to the left. Uma decrease the pressure, uyenza use space. It will form. It will shift where we have more number of modes, so as to occupy that space. This is how pressure works. This is how pressure come into effect. This is how pressure affects equilibrium.